You're listening to 98.3 FM, WRLR LP, Round Lake Heights, Illinois.
I think somebody's in the studio here from a long time ago. It's about time you got your happy butt in here.
Hey, how are ya?
I am doing very well. How about you?
I'm doing very well now.
Well,
It's been quite a last few months.
yeah?
But we don't need to go over that. We don't need to go through that on the air. Let's talk about more kind of fun things. What's on your mind today?
Well,
There she is.
and here's Elena.
Elena's here.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm glad to see you finally drag your happy butt back in the studio.
Well, it's been since June 2012 that
Yeah.
we've all been together on the air. Hey, Elena.
Hi, good morning, Ann. Hi, Chris.
Hi.
Good to be here. I'm out of breath. I was running late this morning.
Well, I was-
Yeah, and what were you out on a hot date last night or something?
Well, Ann, I have to keep those things to myself because otherwise things go crazier than normal in my life. So yeah, it's good. It's good to be here. It's good to see you guys.
Well, I was just about to get ready to rip her a new one because, I mean, we've been showing up here for 2 years now, waiting for her to.
Yeah,
We're like, where's Ann been?
Well, it's because I was down in Florida,
Oh,
soaking in the sun,
yeah.
enjoying the sunlight, the clean air.
Well, now you're back to this crisp air, just fall weather like. And,
Only for a few days, guys. I'm out of here on Sunday.
well, I hope you brought a few sweaters and scarves.
It's too cold here.
It's too cold here, and I've been stuck here.
Well, and here's the thing. I think it's just hysterical because what day did I come in? I came in on Friday.
Yeah.
That's when the temperatures plummeted.
Yeah, that's when it started.
Yeah, and it was brutal getting off of that plane. Let me tell you.
Well, I can a little bit relate to that because sometimes when I go on my sunny vacation in Mexico, coming back in the middle of the brutal winter, it is so shocking to your body and everything. I mean, even when you breathe in that cold air, everything inside of you freezes.
Yeah, well, and it's not a good feeling. I mean, even your toes and your shoes freeze.
Yeah,
Your
and
butt freezes.
takes you a few days to get used to that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. But it warmed up a little bit yesterday. Today it's going to be a little cooler. Tomorrow it's supposed to be a little bit warmer, I think.
I think. Well, right now I live one day at a time. I never used to check the weather because I was like, oh, whatever it does, I'll just adapt to it. But lately, I don't know why. I've been checking it in the morning, at least 12 hours in advance.
Oh, that's because you're getting older.
No, that's because I'm outside a lot more.
I'm always cold. It's either one extreme or the other.
You need to get some meat on your bones, Chris.
It's a little hard to do when I'm divorced.
That's not what I was talking about. That's not what I was talking about. But so let's talk about something fun today on Life Outside the Box, and that is looking your best. What do you guys think about looking your best? What do you think it does for you?
Well, I think that looking your best, of course, that means a lot of different things to different people, but whatever you're feeling about yourself. So some people, do it through their wardrobe. Some people do it through their hairstyles or makeup or the shoes they wear. Sometimes it's just the shoes they wear that makes you feel your best.
Well, and if they're not wearing anything but shoes, you got a little bit of a problem. but yeah, it's all in your self-expression, if you will.
Exactly. I totally agree about that. And what's fun about that is every day feeling your best, you're different. You're changing up this or changing up that because every day we're different moods. And, that's what it's about. Just feeling good about ourselves every day. And like you said, that self-esteem because, even I come across so many people that they really do need that self-esteem and to know that they do have a value and they should, be confident in who they are.
Exactly. What about you, Chris? How do you feel about looking your best?
Something I got to work on.
So how can we help you here in the studio today?
I brought my fashion mind today, so go
did you?
ahead.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I know Ann was talking about plastic surgery all weekend, but that's not my thing.
Oh, I think we jumped ahead of ourselves
Oh,
there.
okay.
Oh, you want to talk about plastic surgery?
No, not for me. Not for me.
You don't need it.
No. Even if I needed it, I wouldn't want it because remember, I have a big phobia of all things medical.
You do?
Oh, you'd be
Oh,
afraid
yeah.
of the needles.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't like the needles either. I don't even look at them. I don't even look at my dentist utensils when they use them. I close my eyes. I close my eyes the whole time.
I used to be okay with the Novocaine in the mouth, but then the last time I went in, about 10 minutes after they put the injection, I was doing fine. They put me in the x-ray machine, and I was kind of confined, and then I passed out.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Well,
You-
no, I've never gotten to that point.
No, I didn't even get to that point, even when I was having a root canal done. Seriously.
Yeah. But, well, even still, that dental stuff is like, mm-mm. If you don't have to do it, you better take care of your dental hygiene, and because it is no fun.
Well, I'm going to the dentist on Thursday because my dentist is still here. I did not change dentists when I moved to Florida, so I come here to go to the dentist.
Oh,
1,400 miles to go to the dentist because I love my dentist.
I know. Some people do that. I travel, like, from here, Round Lake area, to Palatine, and people think that's far.
Oh,
But because I
boy.
love my dentist.
Where do you go?
Well, I was going to a guy off in by on Sheridan Road.
So that's a ways
up
from
in
you?
Kenosha.
Oh, no, that's
Yeah,
close to you.
well, kind of. I'm off in Silver Lake, so
Oh.
it's a little bit of a drive.
Well, even in dentistry, like you can get cosmetic dentistry if you want. If you can get your teeth whitened, you can get implants, you can get all kinds of interesting things done with your smile. And that really adds to your appearance.
Yes, it does. And that brings to mind that, there's a lot of different reasons where people would need special dentistry procedures. People who are in accidents or have suffered or have gone through diseases, and sometimes it affects your teeth. So it's really good that a lot of dentists do step up to help those kind of patients out with their dental issues.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And because when you go in, okay, so let's talk about something that is affecting a lot of people right now, and that is they're looking for new jobs. When you go in for that job interview, you've got to look your best. Well, don't you think?
Yes, that is true.
And what I'm wondering, though, as someone who hasn't gone for a job interview in quite a few years because I've been running a company, I didn't need a job interview. What is the correct dress code these days for job? Because before, you walked in, you were dressed in a suit, a nice, What is it now? Because I've, with the advent of business casual, yada yada, how are people dressing for job interviews these days?
Well, I think that, like, from my perspective, of course, I just keep also hearing, the old school version. You're going for a job interview. It doesn't matter what level or position that you are going for. You do have to go your best. I mean, women still are wearing, the more formal. Well, suits have come a long way, too. They don't look like those old-fashioned suits from before. But just the classic suit, or even men, suit and tie. I mean, I don't think that you can go wrong overdressing for a position because you just can't go wrong that way. That's how I see it. So even myself, who have recently been going on interviews, it's interesting because you have to keep that that professional appearance going, because sometimes you might go in for one position, but you don't know what those recruiters are thinking, because once they talk to you, maybe they now have a different position in mind for you. So you really don't know what they're thinking. You always have to go, looking your best and presenting yourself the best that you can.
Yeah, and so that's probably, that can be a challenge for a lot of people because they're probably not involved in the job market and they're going dressed completely the wrong way and presenting themselves completely the wrong way, and they're not getting those opportunities because of that.
I agree with that because sometimes, I mean, I also sit on the other side in some of my volunteer projects. I'll sometimes help with employment expos and that type of event. And even though we ask people to come dressed, as if you're coming to an interview, we see a lot of different people coming in that really, if they were going for an interview, it probably wouldn't be the best way that they should be dressed. But then at those employment expos, they also have workshops that talk to you about how to dress for an interview.
So you would say, and as I would say, old school was you dress above you dress above the position.
That's right. That would be my recommendation.
Doesn't matter what kind of position you're going for.
It doesn't matter what kind of position that you're going for.
See, even I've worked for the same employer for 21 years. And even as recent as 2007, when I was interviewing for a different position within the company, which was kind of a lateral move, and I'm not a white-collar worker, I'm a blue-collar worker, I would still go, in a suit and tie.
That's right, Chris.
Yeah. Except for the one interview where I got called in while I was working, but
sure,
that's a different
and they
situation.
understand that when you
yeah.
have to come, as you would go on a normal day. But yeah, I know that the Chamber of Commerce last week, I think, had their employment expo. So again, there's a lot of help for people. I think that people who are entering the job market again, or after a long while, it does it serves them to really update themselves, do a little reading, visit the job centers that are available so that they can present their best self on those interviews.
So, and you're saying, the appropriate suit, etc., put on your best. What about makeup? What are people doing with makeup these days in interviews?
From makeup, again, just, from my experience, it's minimal makeup. You don't want to go, dressed to go to the club dancing that night. I mean, it's okay to wear a little bit of color on your face, but subtle color.
How often do you do that, Elena?
Do what?
Go to the club dancing at night?
Once in a while.
Oh, okay.
Is it a daily occurrence, a nightly?
No, not daily. Not nightly either. I have different sleep patterns now.
Well, yeah. So what else can you think about? What other things do you guys want to talk about with respect to looking your best?
Okay, well, since I'm a single person, I always have conversations with my girlfriends about dating and who and what. And I always tell them, I said, for me, handsome means like you look like you got up today, took a shower, and you have clean clothes on, and you combed your hair or whatever it is. That to me is basic handsome. So, yeah, beyond that, those are other things. But I think, too, for dating, you really have to put a little bit of effort in to, looking your best and so that we can like you.
Yeah, but you just don't want it to be a misrepresentation.
Oh, no, of course not.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I think that's probably the most important.
right.
So what do you call a misrepresentation, Chris? What does that mean?
As far as looks, we're talking, right?
Yeah,
Probably.
absolutely.
I mean, I think there's a way to really just make yourself all out. I mean, let's just call it, the difference between, if there was a picture of you, right here, and then a picture of you in a magazine
Oh, yes.
that's been, obviously airbrushed and
Right.
everything. That's what they do. But
That happens.
yeah,
Well, for instance, okay, when I was younger, I did modeling. I did that.
Mhm.
When they did the pictures for the paper or whatever it was, the magazine or whatever, they had to do certain touch-ups. Yeah,
Right.
no one is perfect.
exactly.
No one is perfect. But if you show up completely different than you look on that, it can be shocking.
Mm-hmm.
So is that kind of what you're saying?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You don't want to, meet somebody and put all this effort into making yourself look perfect because, well, I mean,
Well,
what's the purpose of going on a date? You're trying to meet somebody new, figure out if you like them, and if you're just misrepresenting yourself at that moment, what else are you? You know, and they figured out they might start questioning, are you misrepresenting yourself on other things as well?
right. Well, I agree with that because,
Yeah.
I mean, I hear a lot of stories about, yes, I posted a picture when I was, 10 years younger or 15 years younger, and like, you never told that person that you're meeting or then I think that's
mean,
kind of lying.
like
Oh, yeah.
you're 80 and you're
And people do that on dating websites.
I know
too.
they do, yeah.
15-year-old pictures of themselves.
people do it on LinkedIn. They do it. On,
They do it
Oh,
every
yeah.
day. I see it on a lot of government official sites.
yeah, no kidding. We won't even go there. but when you think about that, and you think about okay, the job market, the dating market, whatever market you're in, the meat market, whatever, if you're putting pictures like that of yourself on the web, on Facebook, whatever, and they're outdated, and a lot of times they look. It doesn't matter, you can tell that they're outdated because of the background, because of the clothes you're wearing, etc. It's yeah.
And unless you're posting those or putting them out there on what they call now Throwback Thursdays,
Yeah.
unless if you're doing it on Monday, Tuesday, or any other day, then then it's not okay because you really need to know who the person is. And again, just a little bit more serious. Yes, you are going to represent yourself to the truest person that you are. That's, I think, the best way they are going to get to know that other person without being distracted, with any other stuff about that person.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
what is distracting to you guys? What's absolutely distracting? Is it wild clothes? What is it about people? That
Let's see.
Multiple piercings all over the place.
multiple personalities.
Well, that could be distracting too, of course.
Well, I haven't really had too many distracting things happen.
No, I mean, I see a lot of pictures. Okay, you'll see people with just 100 piercings on their face or wherever. I don't like that. Tattoos all over the place. Forget all. I mean, 1 or 2 tattoos somewhere. Okay, that's fine. But there's some people that just have them half their face.
From their neck down.
Oh God, yeah.
Yes, I mean, I haven't seen that. I've seen it like on people I didn't know. But if I did have to talk to somebody on a more one-to-one, probably that might be not distracting. Well, yes, distracting and distracting.
Are we talking personal or even just in photographs?
Actually, both, because you'll see individuals that they're covered head to toe with tattoos, and I have nothing. I think people should do what they want to do for themselves,
Oh, of course, yes.
but you must know how it impacts what other people perceive. And if you were to say, what's your perception of someone who's covered from shoulder to toe in tattoos? What image?
That's an obsession now.
Does it portray? Just like someone who has multiple piercings. I mean, I've seen people they're in their mouth even, and it's distracting.
Are those big old rings in their earlobes?
Oh, I've seen those.
It's just,
Yeah, I don't know what those are called, but so what you're saying, and yes, I agree. And like you said, when I see it in magazines, to me, when I see it in magazines, those people, they're not real to me. So I see it kind of more as art, or like you said, even models in magazines. They've done things to those pictures where to me it's more like art when I see it in print.
Well, and the other part of it is when you have people that, the guys with the big rings in their ears, the ones where they actually separate the ear and they shove the wood in there and stuff. I don't know how you go back from that. I don't know how you're going to be the CEO of General Electric with that look. Maybe you're not going that direction.
yeah, I don't think they have those aspirations.
But you got to think about that before going down that road, I think.
Yeah, I agree because, like, again, back into the job market, when you do look at people who are in very high level positions, they have a very conservative, I would say, look about them. I mean, I haven't seen all the CEOs of the world. There could be somebody who does have those ear loops or whatever you call them, but for the most part, the ones that I've seen, they do have a very conservative look and image.
Even the ride guys at Great America, they're pretty conservative from what I've seen.
Yeah, from what I've seen too.
What do you think, Chris? What's your weigh in?
No comment.
Okay. So really, overall, looking your best, it's important in the job market. It's important in the dating market. It's just overall important for your own self-esteem. And there are lots of things that you can do to look better. Like, for instance, you want to look at your hair. Change your hair up. You know, you can go short hair, long hair. You can wear a wig. You can, you know, it's all individual. So, Elena, I mean, you've changed your hair a few times.
Yeah, I have changed it a few times, and sometimes people think that it could be expensive to change my hair a lot. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes you can just put one part to the other side, or you can use a little hair clip or a little hair decoration. It's just something to make it a little bit different, if that's what you want to do that day.
And Chris, we're not recommending hair clips for you.
No, I've had the same hairstyle for years. Shave it all with number 2.
So that's it?
That's
so
it.
That's your
Nice and easy.
low maintenance kind of thing?
You got it.
Okay. So the other thing that you can do is, like we said, you can change up your hair. You can change up your makeup. What wild things do you do with your makeup, Elena?
Well, the one thing that I probably like to change up is my lipstick color, and it depends where you're going, because sometimes that lipstick color is its own personality. It's like, so just, you know, simple things like that, or also on occasion, it depends on the event. I've even used false eyelashes. They are a fun thing to do. And it just gives you a little bit of a different look, and I can't put them on myself, of course.
So who puts them on for you?
Well, I usually go to.
Oh, did she borrow Bish's?
Oh, I don't know.
No, but a lot of the hair salons, they all have makeup artists, and they're able to help you with those kind of things.
Well, and that's, you know, that is a lot of fun. Makeup is a lot of fun. It's a great thing.
But I wouldn't wear them on a date, maybe. Maybe not, because that's like a little bit misrepresentation. Wait till I get to know them a little bit, and then we're going to address the event. Then you can see my pow look.
Then you really
there you go.
snazz it up. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know, and we were. I have a wonderful plastic surgeon down in Naples. His name is Dr. Kent Hasten. He's one of the best. Awesome. And he writes a blog every week about looking your best and covers issues like, you know, everything from the statistics of how people perceive you when you look better to how you perceive yourself. Just articles like that. And they did one study, and I apologize, I don't have the article in front of me, where they had twins. And these twins one started doing Botox when she was, I think, 25. And the other one didn't. And they kept up with them over 10 years, I think. And the one who did Botox when she was in her 20s actually looked younger.
This was
later.
an experiment that they had planned, or this is just what she wanted to
No,
do
I think they did. It was a study.
So they found
okay.
these two twins that had done that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And it's interesting because the maintenance that you put into yourself pays off years later. Because how many people do you see that are in their 60s and they look like they're in their 80s? And how many people do you see that are in their 60s and they look like they're in their 40s or their 30s? It pays off when you take care of your health and you take care of your appearance, you know, from the inside out. It's very, very important that you pay attention to those things. how often are you exercising every day? That helps you look better. Going to your plastic surgeon. Hey, maybe you need a nip or a tuck here and there. Maybe you need Botox. Maybe you need something like that to make you feel better about the way that you look. I mean, I'll be honest. I just went through horrendous cancer treatment over the last 8 months. Talk about looking bad. I mean, when you're going through chemo, it's not exactly a fun thing to go through, and you don't look too terribly good when you're going through it. So, of course, where am I going after I'm done with treatment? I'm going to go get my face fixed so that I look a lot better for me. It doesn't matter about anybody else. If they like the way I look, great, but I need to like the way that I look.
I was going to say, I don't see anything wrong. Or did you already do it?
That's because I already went.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, that's why. No wonder you look the same to me.
Yeah.
And that's because Dr. Hasten, probably a lot of local plastic surgeons does, he's very conservative. He does very nice work, and he doesn't go overboard.
Right.
But but there are horror stories in plastic surgery as well. You need to find a board certified, highly, you always go with the plastic surgeon that's somebody else that that has gone to and has gotten great results. And if it takes flying to Florida to do it, that's what you should do, because you should not have anybody injecting you or doing anything to your face unless you know that they're very competent in what they do.
Oh, or any part of your body for that matter.
Right. I mean, you hear a lot about some high-profile celebrities or whatever that their surgery has gone wrong, and when we do hear more of the facts about it, it was a lot of times the doctor wasn't really qualified, to do that type of procedure. So that's scary to think that somebody wouldn't put that much thought and research into the doctor that they're going to for those kind of things.
Exactly. And, the word of mouth is the best way, along with your research. Talk to people that have gone to that person and see how they're satisfied they are. Interview or go into their office. Talk to their office staff. Like Dr. Hasten's team, phenomenal. When you walk in there, you are treated exceptionally well. And they serve people exceptionally well. When you walk into and I can tell you, you can walk into doctors' offices and the staff stinks. And it doesn't matter how great the doctor is. You're not going back there.
And a lot of times, too, if you're going in for a first procedure, if it's not done right, you're going to spend, another amount of money or twice amount, whatever, to get it fixed or back to even to what it was, whatever it is you haven't done.
Well, right, exactly. And it could cost you a lot of heartache and a lot of money.
Yeah.
You don't want to go through that.
No. And now that you're talking about the plastic surgery, of course, there's money involved. But I want to mention, because it kind of came to mind as we were talking here about your chemotherapy, I believe it still exists. There's an organization. It's called Look Good, Feel Good.
Yes.
I don't know if you know about that.
Yes.
Okay, so this is a group of, I think they're cosmetologists who, I think they volunteer, and they do help people going through or after cancer or through chemo. So they kind of also help them learn how to look their best while they're going through that. So I don't know if you've heard of that program.
Absolutely. They have it down in Florida. And it's great for people that, because basically when you're handed a diagnosis like that, your life goes into a tailspin. You almost feel like the world stops. Or no, the world doesn't stop. You do. The world is keeping going. Everybody's going on with their daily activities, and all of a sudden you're sort of in this box and you're like, what just happened? And it's a very tough place to be in, and you can't really understand it until you've been there. But it's almost like you're looking at Facebook, or you're looking at just the day-to-day things that people do, but you're not a part of it anymore because you're sort of lost in this whole other world that you're going, well, am I going to be here? Am I not going to be here? What kind of treatment am I going to go through? What is this like? And it's, so every piece of it is a puzzle that is very complex and very, wow, it's just a journey that you can't describe, and I wouldn't wish it upon anyone. But organizations like Look Good, Feel Good, I think are important because it's just one piece of that whole puzzle that people are dealing with during that time.
Right, and it's something that's available to people who maybe don't have, the resources or money to take it to the next level if they choose to for plastic surgery. So there are resources out there, and so, the American Cancer Association or Society, I'm sure they have all those resources listed
Yeah, they do.
in their website.
Go right out to the website for that. But also, looking good is important for everybody, whether you're dating, whether you're looking for a job, whether you're just trying to change your life up a little bit, make it more, exciting. You can get more excited about your life with a different scarf even. It's that ridiculous, but
A lot of little things can make a big difference.
absolutely. Chris, what do you want to say?
Well, a couple of years ago, I needed new glasses, and I always have a hard time shopping for glasses for myself. I don't know what looks good, but I'm looking at these different pairs of glasses, and I was trying them. I was trying on the frames, and this guy comes up to me. He was shopping too, and he goes, "Those look really good on you." They do? Yeah, those look really good. He goes, "I wouldn't want them for myself, but those look really..." Oh, okay, thanks. So I ended up buying 3 pairs. I bought 2 pairs of just the regular corrective lenses and then a version in sunglasses. So,
And do you still have those?
yeah.
I do agree with you, Chris. I who wear glasses as well. It is such an ordeal to go, and you could try on 20, 30 pairs, and you still don't know which one's the best.
Yep, yeah, exactly.
It's just crazy.
Well, okay, so we're talking about glasses. That's a big deal. Especially, here's what they do to you when you can't see, okay? And you're sitting here with those lenses or the frames with no lenses, and the eye professional is going, well, which pair do you like? You can't even see.
That is a good point.
It's like,
That's a very good point.
Well, let me get closer to the.
and you're going, I would like your professional opinion on what looks good because this is what you do every day. I can't see it. But I just crack up. I'm like, did you not see the prescription that I can't see? I don't know what looks good. So you need to bring somebody with you.
You do.
Yeah.
Because people see you different than what you see yourself, too.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And what about the hair salon?
The hair salon. What about the hair salon? Well, here's the thing. I sometimes know of people who they say, oh, I want to make a big change in my hair. I said, you better go on small steps. I said, first go for a consultation. And then if some people want to go from really longer hair to shorter hair, I said, don't do it all at once because it's a shock when you do that. So go shorter little bit by little bit till you get there.
Yeah. And Emma Watson would be a good example of what you were just saying because she had just beautiful hair, and then one day, she's not looking like me.
Right, and maybe that's what she wanted. That
Right.
could be too.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't know and you don't know, you better take it in small steps because you'll be crying or something.
Well, and that goes for hair color too, because now there are a lot of like neon colors that are very popular. It's like, we older ladies, I'm not sure we're really interested in doing neon.
Mature ladies.
Well, okay, mature.
As a guy, I will tell you guys something.
Blue,
Hairstyle? What?
blue hair's not in.
No, not unless you're a Smurf. But I think hair hairstyle makes a huge difference in the presentation. Look at a woman a couple days before her wedding day and then on her wedding day. The hair is usually, I mean, you've got two things. You've got the wedding dress and you've got the hairstyle. And there's just an entire, I mean, you just,
Looks like another person. Is that what you're saying?
oh, yeah.
Right. Well, even though she's kind of misrepresenting, but she's kind of getting ready for the big day. She
Yeah,
probably will
when-
never look like that again, probably.
No, probably not.
When you're
But I will tell you, that is one of the things I like is hair,
Yeah.
hairstyle. Yep.
Hairstyles.
and that's
Changing it up.
it makes a huge difference. Absolutely. So are you into the neon colors?
No.
So more into like normal blonde, brown.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. I've seen where some women of all ages even, they'll have like one little piece of hair that has the little neon color. Just a little one. Just a little accent. That is doable to me.
Yeah, that's all
It's
right.
just
that's
kind of
okay.
it kind of shows that, you know, oh wow, that person's a little fun. They're a little bold and daring. They did one now. They did their whole hair. No, that wouldn't work.
Well, and I think that's true. Yeah, I think that's true. If you were going all over pink, I'm not so sure that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Especially when, you know, if you're on a job search or something.
Right. Because then if you do have that little fleck of hair that's that color, you can kind of tuck it behind the other hair. So you can still do things, you know, for your job search that you have to.
All right, so we've gone through wardrobe with the job search and the dating and all of that. Any points there that you guys want to talk about? Stand out that we haven't talked about yet.
I would say just remember that if you're going in for a job interview, yeah, you want to present yourself a certain way, but the employer also wants to see how you're going to represent them.
That's correct, Chris, because again, they kind of want to see if you're going to fit in with their team, their group. And so, yes, that's an important point.
Yep.
All right, dating. Fire away, you two.
Lord, that's a whole nother show.
Yeah, I think you're going to have to stay another week.
But no, I mean, I think it's, I mean, I've been having fun with it. And again, I'm at a stage in my life, I'm just enjoying life and I'm just having fun. I don't take things too seriously. I'm mature enough to know that if that person, we didn't click. Okay, next. I remember one time when I was in church, we were young, and coming from a Mexican background, well, our parents were a little more strict. So I remember our priest one day said, no, parents, you really have to be a little more relaxed with that. It's like going to the grocery store. You know, you pick up a head of lettuce and you're like, no, maybe that's not the one for me. You put it back and take another one. So, you know, it's like let the kids, you know, find out who they are and, you know, what they like. Be a little more lenient with the dating permissions.
I think that, you know, so at the same time you were diagnosed, that's when I was diagnosed with divorce. You got the C word, I got the D word. And that was upsetting. And although I'm on I'm on a couple of dating sites, I think in the past couple months, I finally, because I took it real hard, and I've kind of finally settled down, and I'm like, whatever happens, happens. I'm just trying to get things back together.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not really, I wouldn't say I'm active or necessarily inactive or whatever you want to call it.
But if the opportunity arises to meet a new person,
yes,
you would, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like the top of your list. Your kids are at the top of your list right now.
Well, yeah, the kids are at the top of the list. And, you know, I've had a couple other situations come up that I need to iron out, you know, before I, you know, take care of anything else like that. And one of those is, you know, getting my house back in order.
Mm-hmm.
And taking care of some remodeling and stuff like that. So, haven't really been on the dating scene to tell you,
Okay.
give anything constructive, on that front.
Okay, but what I'm hearing you say, Chris, is maybe right now is not the right time.
Yeah, maybe not at this moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's okay.
I remember a few years back, I mean, you'd be surprised at the, like, people that you meet and the way they are, and it's shocking sometimes.
Yeah.
So then you take a break
Well,
and
And I think-
appreciate the good things.
Yeah, and that's partially where I'm coming from too. It's
Yeah.
not that people that I've met that are. It's just certain situations where I'm finding out,
Yeah.
boy, these people just aren't what who they thought I were, who I thought they were, what they thought I were,
Exactly.
they thought
what
they
I
were
thought
who?
they were. So, yeah, getting all twisted. I don't know.
In other words, you were confused.
Yeah, I think I still am.
Yeah, but honestly, you've gone through such a life transition that it's going to take a little while to get your sea legs, if you will, to kind of navigate through that.
Arg.
Yeah.
The one other thing that I've learned across my years of experience, before when we were younger, you just want to date who you want to date, and sometimes things wouldn't work out so much, and for some reason you don't see it, but every other person, if your
Yep.
family and your friends see it, you're like, what, are you crazy? So I have come to learn that, you know what, your friends and your family do see things, and you really should listen to them or kind of take their
Yeah.
suggestions into consideration.
Yeah, because sometimes, why didn't you tell me? We tried to tell you.
Yeah.
Exactly. And as the person, like as a person that says, "Oh yeah, I tried to tell you," you're also walking that thin line of alienation too, because you don't want to tell somebody and then not be correct.
Right.
Because if you do that, you can cause problems the other way.
And truth be told, in my situation, I have a knack for knowing when something's about to happen. And I just kind of had a feeling for a while before, at some point something's going to happen. I just don't know when.
Could that be intuition?
Yeah.
Anne, could that be intuition?
Absolutely.
You know,
Oh,
they say
absolutely.
trust that gut feeling, they say.
Yeah. And it was, and with me, it's not just limited to that. It's, it's a number of other things. So.
Well, and it's true, because if you don't pay attention to your gut, yes, the weigh-in of people outside of you is important, absolutely, because they're your loved ones, etc. But at the end of the day, you've got to go with your gut. But the problem is that when we're little, we know that intuition. We can recognize it. We know things that we might spurt out in the middle of an adult conversation, and oftentimes we're poo-pooed as we're growing up to not say those things or not notice those things, or that little voice really isn't helping you, except it is. That's your intuitive voice, and it's important to really learn to discern that from the voice of your gremlin or your fear, any of those things.
Right, and as you look back on your certain life experiences, and if you think back and say, you know what, I did have a feeling, but you didn't act on it. So I think that with experience comes that you're listening more to that inner voice or to that intuition, and it's a good thing. Now we know it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but a lot of people still don't recognize that, and that's why they get off track and they wonder why their lives aren't working. Well, you have that intuition with you 24/7. If you're not listening to it, that's why you're not making the right decisions for you, because what's right for you may be wrong for somebody else. And if they're telling you what their version of the world is, and it doesn't fit with yours, it's not going to help you.
Not at all.
But there are also, and then there are also situations where people get backed into a corner. So they may say something, or they may do a series of things that they may be regretting, but they have no idea to pull back and undo what they did. They think that they're already so far that they will never be able to undo it.
I think we've all been there.
Yeah, and comes to mind, I have a friend, well, it's kind of a friend. But anyway, so I'm always talking a little bit about what we're talking about, and I always tell him, I said, you have to listen to what you're feeling. I said, you make choices every day that get you to where you are, But just know that you can make new choices every day too. You're not in such a extreme situation that you cannot make changes in your life for the better for yourself.
Well, and that is absolutely true. And if you have somebody who gets themselves into a situation and they find out that that situation isn't necessarily what they thought it was going to be, but they're in so deep that they don't know how to back out of it, you've got to give them the space to be able to do that. And the way that you give them the space is you don't pass judgment on them. And you it's sort of like when your dog runs away and they keep coming towards you, but they won't come to you, you know? It's sort of that same dynamic. And if you practice that, that may be the answer to the person coming to the conclusion that they need to for themselves. Because they can't vocalize it to anybody else, because everybody around them is going, well, what, why did you do that? Well, it doesn't matter. The past doesn't matter. The future is what matters, and the choices that you're making right now are what is going to guide you there.
Exactly. Those new choices are going to take you to a new place where you might want to be.
Yeah, I think I'm guilty of, I think I backed my ex-wife into a corner. I pretty much went off the deep end. So I wish I hadn't lost it mentally. I mean, it is what it is. I can't change that now. But
well, I don't think you lost it.
I was pretty much over the edge. But
But you've come through that.
Yeah,
that phase.
Oh yeah,
right.
yeah. Everything's fine now. I'm actually, I'm able to talk to her, and stuff like that.
So I think it's important too to know when you're in a really tough situation like that. I mean, even in myself and previous experiences, I really have to tell myself, you know what, you're gonna get through it. It might be really hard, but you're gonna get through it.
Yeah, well, and it's important to recognize that for yourself, and it's also important to recognize it for the people around you, because like Chris said, well, it was I'm the one who, well, there are two sides to that, and if you have taken the steps that you need to take to move through that situation, you've also got to recognize that she needs to do that for herself too.
Well, yeah, and she already had. I mean, she already knew where she wanted to go. What she wanted to do, I was just having a hard time accepting that. And that was just my, I kept trying to fight it instead of just, backing off.
Right.
So I think that's where I went wrong. I don't think it would have changed anything anyways, but, but I just happen to think of that when you were bringing up, backing people into a corner and stuff like that.
Well, okay, so we'll use this as an example. And I don't know if this is the real story or not. This is just a scenario.
Okay.
What if she thought the grass was going to be greener on that other side and it's not, and she has no idea how to back out of what she did? That's my point.
Right.
If she's not given the space to be able to go, you know what, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. Maybe I want my family back. If she's not given that space, it could be a very bad outcome, because then everybody's left the way that they were, they were destined at the beginning. But if she had that change of heart and can't come back from it, that's sad, because it could repair itself.
Correct.
Is what I'm saying, and so that's all I'm going to say. I mean, do you see where I'm going with this?
Oh, I agree.
So if you still have people running around and saying things and about the situation and about the people in the situation, that's not going to help that person come back and go, you know what, I might have made a mistake here. I need to reevaluate.
Yeah, I agree with you there that you do have to, when people go in different directions, you do have to give them that space. And like you said, no judgment. I mean, that's a hard thing to do.
It's
but
very difficult.
But it's something that really you have to practice that every day because you're going to come across things all day where you might be judging. But, you know, it's good to practice not to be that way.
Absolutely. It's a very low energy way to live if you're constantly in judgment of people, because if you're doing that to everybody else, you're also doing it to yourself. What number are you doing on yourself when you're, you know, because it always, whenever you judge somebody, whenever you point that finger, there are 3 fingers pointed back at you at all times. Every time, never fails. So you really have to pay attention to that.
I
don't know.
agree.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to throw it out there, you know, because
No, and this was a road that I think was important to go down for, especially for you, because what if things did change? I'm not saying that they will. I don't know that they will, but if not given the chance, they won't.
correct.
If given the chance, it could be a very positive thing for how many people? For the kids,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And at least, let's just say they don't change. The relationship between the two of you is if it's repaired and it's gotten better, that's still a home run for the kids and for you.
Right. And it's, you know, and it was me that was the negative side of all that. She wanted to remain friends. She wanted to continue to be able to talk. I was just in such a low place in my life and so angry, I just couldn't do it.
But now you are. I mean, now,
Yeah, I'm starting to come out of that shell.
and that's excellent.
Mm-hmm.
And by you doing that, you may open up a whole new pathway that you had no idea could possibly exist
Could be.
right now. You just don't know. And we've all been there. We've all made stupid mistakes. Absolutely.
I know I have.
Oh, God.
Well, I learned from Ann.
Pretty much.
Right. I don't know. Yeah, since Life Outside the Box is not on anymore, I'm missing a lot of pointers.
Well, you know, it's interesting because we've kind of over the years, we've had these conversations about, do we come back on the air? Do we stay off the air? Do we go to a different, you know, venue? What do we do? And I don't know. I don't know what's next for the Life Outside the Box
Right.
team.
This has been nice.
Yeah.
I would like to continue it at some point. Pick it back up.
I
again.
like this reunion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's kind of it's more of a round table.
But where's
Yeah.
Dennis?
Oh, Dennis. Evidently, when I put that out on Facebook, Dennis didn't take us seriously, so he never thought about it. So then, when I sent him his note this morning, he's like, "I didn't know we were really going to do it."
Oh, okay.
So that's okay. We'll
That's
get him
fine.
for the next one.
Yeah.
That's right. Next time you're in, we do another show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So and then I don't know when I'll be in next. It'll be when it's warm. That's for sure. So the next,
Well, you have a small window of months for that.
so it'll be like next June.
2 or 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know that I'll be back in September at least next year because we have a family wedding and Jessica's wedding
Yeah.
and Shaylin's birthday, and you know, September's an important month, but it needs to get warm. It needs to be a warm week.
Well, you know, normally in September, it's really not this cold. So this has been unusual, I think. Don't you think, Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to work outside.
Yeah, and yeah, so it's been an unusual month, I think, weather-wise, the last couple of weeks.
Well, and you know, so and it's interesting when you look at the past few years. Where is everybody now? Like, Chris, you're still at Great America, but you had your big event.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I moved to Naples. I had my big event. That's it for that one. I'm not doing that C one again.
Right, and I'm in a transition for jobs, so I'm, you know, busy with the community still and just enjoying my life while I
Yeah.
can.
Why? Oh,
While I can, meaning until I get a full-time job and I'm tied down to a regular schedule again.
yeah. But
Yeah.
but how has that been for you? Just taking a few months off? Because I bet you it's been years since you've been able to do this. Do that.
Yes, it's been a long time, and even though, like I said, I still have events and community things going on, it's kind of like I'm pretty much able to set my own schedule and hours. And even though it's volunteering, I'm still finding satisfaction in that.
Uh-huh.
And so, I'm going to move forward with my job search and as happy as ever, and go with what I adjust to what life gives me.
Well, and you mentioned, I think you mentioned, Elena, you might be headed back to Mexico just for a little while this year.
Just for a little bit, maybe. I mean, the holidays are going to be here before you know it, just 2 months away, not even. And so I'll see how, if I decide to do that or not.
Yeah, my holidays begin on Halloween.
Yeah, I remember those days. Chris, it's Halloween week. We have to dress up in costumes for the radio show.
Yeah, we had
Oh, yeah, I
we had
remember.
to dress up in costumes. We had the librarian show.
Oh, I
and
know. Do you know that people still talk about that? Every once in a while I'll hear, oh, you haven't been on the radio for a while. I go, well, it's been a couple of years now.
But that was a great show because it really got the word out about what the libraries were doing, because I think a lot of people don't realize.
Yeah, it is true. Even when I'm out there talking about it, actually on one of my interviews that I went on, one of the directors said to me off the side after we were done, he's like, well, no, during the interview, he said, why does a library need a marketing or public relations person? And I said, well, libraries are a lot different now than when I grew up or even when you grew up. I said there's so many more services and things that people can access besides just books. So that was a very important segment that you were doing, Anne.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know, maybe in the future something like that can get picked up again.
Oh, we had a heck of a time. We had fun doing that.
Yeah.
And it was interesting, like Stephen Barrow and folks like that. They were very deep. Stephen Barrow was one of the pillars, I think, because he was running his library and he was taking the time to come over here and do the show.
Yeah. So when they were taking time to actually come into the studio, that was a big thing.
Yeah, and one of the things that he did was the Shining City. Remember when they had that author? I forgot the author. Anyway, well, and that's how I got on this show. That's how I got onto the station, was through the Graveyard Gambit.
Okay.
That's how I came upon doing the show. It was kind of interesting.
So hopefully we'll be able to do some more of these reunion shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think,
I
Chris?
love it.
Will we have to talk to the board?
Yeah, you better get that request in on time.
Okay.
well, I want to thank you guys for joining me on the reunion of Life Outside the Box this morning. I know we kind of went sort of off track and around the track and maybe under the track.
We
But-
always did.
Yeah,
It was always
yeah, I
fun.
think we always did.
That's what we did. That's what we did best.
Yep.
So thank you for anyone out there who was listening.
Thanks again for inviting me. I had a really good time, and again, I look forward to more of these shows.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you, Ann.
Thank you, Chris.
Any parting words?
This is your blonde with the wand. Looking forward to coming back to the airwaves sometime soon.